Hey guys, Terry Red here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the Pinup Pinball System. That's right, I'm going to be doing a basic overview to answer some questions that I get a lot about what the heck is Pinup Player, or what are PuP-Packs, or what is Pinup Popper, what is Pinup System, are they all the same thing, or are they all separate? How does all this work? So I'm just going to do a basic overview of what each part of it is, how it works, and what it's used with. So to start, Pinup Player and all the software related in Pinup Pinball System was created by Nailbuster. He started out with Pinup Player. I think it's been a couple of years now, and it's basically at its heart, Pinup Player is a program. Well, actually, the best place to get answers would be to go on this webpage that I'm showing you right now, the Pinup Virtual Pinball System wiki page. So on here is where you'll find all the information that you need for installing the software, configuring it. It's always a work in progress. It's maintained by Nailbuster and myself and some other guys in the community. It's always ongoing. It's never going to be complete. There's always more information being added to it. So you always want to come back here for answers on anything related to this stuff first. So first of all, what is Pinup Player? Well, Pinup Player is a program that Nailbuster made that is basically, it can be controlled, or it can be triggered to play various types of media. And you can use this for, ideally it was designed for pinball emulators like Visual Pinball, Future Pinball, Pinball FX 3, so that you can have an active video back glass, something really cool to put on the back glass while you're playing, something that reacts to the gameplay event. So while you're playing a game, certain videos will play or certain scores will display, and it just grew from there. It was just a basic, simple player way back. And then over the last couple of years, it just completely blossomed into so much more. And that's what we're kind of going to go through here. So, I'm not a programmer, guys. I'm a tech, but I'm not really a programmer. I can do some basic scripting, but not much more than that. So I've always been kind of his sidekick to help him test stuff. Sometimes I come up with ideas. I usually create things like themes or PuP-Packs and that kind of thing. I'm that part of this equation here. I'm not a programmer, so I just want to throw that out there. So Nailbuster's the brains behind all the really fancy programming aspect of this stuff. So Pinup Player. So what do we use it for? All right. Well, if you've ever been on my channel, you're going to see I have lots of demonstrations of the various things it's used for. But clearly, it's used for cool pinball stuff, right? So as an example, here's my cabinet here. And here's Scotty Wick's awesome Stranger Things, Stranger Edition. Now, this table was designed with Pinup Player in mind. Everything you see on the back glass is all Pinup Player. The videos, the images, the scores, the letters, like everything you see here is all Pinup Player, completely scripted from the table in Visual Pinball. So while you're playing the game, you'll see videos come up, you'll see other things happen. I'll just let this go for a moment so you could see. Okay, so here you go. So you have this Demogorgon event about to happen in the table while your ball's locked, and Pinup Player is controlling all of this. All right, so that's one simple example. Here's another example on Visual Pinball where Pinup Player controls the videos on the back glass. Now, this is one that I made. This is for Tron Legacy. It was probably it was the first PuP-Pack ever made, and I've just been improving on it over time. So the way this one works is this will react to DMD images that are in the game. So it monitors the DMD that you see here. And then when certain images comes up, it'll then play certain videos or audio, music, whatever else. And that's how that one works. So just a quick demo of that. So you can see here, this is all animated. And then it can change that up depending. Now, I'm not changing much here, but here. Okay, there we go. We'll do that. So when the ball drains, then it changes up the videos and it changes up the music. That's another basic example. You've got another one, Transformers here. There was the cube. Same thing. It's watching the DMD and then it's changing up all these video layers. and then other actions that happen in the game, and then it'll show up on here. So it could be like jackpot or bonuses, whatever else, but it could be one single layer of video. It could be multiple. In this case, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 video layers and an overlay. So that's 7 layers that are all working in real time there. So another example would be for Pinball FX3. Same idea. It looks at the video, the DMD for certain images, and then it triggers music and sound or videos based on that. And then here's an example. You've got the back glass running a looping video while this game is going, and then the topper here, or under middler, will change its videos based on what's going on in the game. When it gets damaged, it just looks at the DMD, and then it's gonna, look at this portion here to see what the number is, and then when that changes, it then changes this part up here. And the more damage, the more it changes up. So that's another example I came up with for trying to do that. Another example of what Pinup Player can be used for is surround sound feedback. Now, surround sound feedback is basically 4 speakers or exciters inside of a pinball cabinet that will play all the mechanical stuff, all the flippers, the solenoids, everything that's happening mechanically in the game. It can play them positionally where they're at. So if you're playing with like an actual cabinet, they would be inside of here, and then you'll hear the sounds wherever the ball's moving, or wherever the flippers are. It's very cool. It's hard to describe it until you actually play it. But instead of having it on your back box speakers, you're hearing it inside the cabinet. Very cool. And then, of course, you can use it for Future Pinball as well, where Future Pinball will communicate with DOF links, and DOF links will communicate with Pinup Player to then play videos just like on Visual Pinball. You can have animated back glass, animated toppers, different music, all sorts of things. In this case, though, it's controlled through the table script, not through DMD images. So the Future Pinball has to be, the tables have to be updated, and then those commands will then trigger all the videos from DOF links. So there's another example there. And then one last example here is, so you can also use DOF links to trigger Pinup Player directly as well. Now, in this case, we're just talking about running a MAME game, and then any button I push can trigger different videos. So, for example, you can watch the back box here, the back glass. It's running a Pinup Player PuP-Pack right now, and now that I push the start button, it changed up the videos, right? And then while I'm playing the game, if I'm pushing the machine gun, it can change up to different videos or all sorts of other things. Let's see if we can get a quick one in there. Yeah, and there you go. You can see that it's changing up based on the buttons I'm pushing. So that's another example there. So those are basic examples of what Pinup Player can do. Now, while I was talking about that, you heard me mention the word PuP-Pack. So what the heck is a PuP-Pack? Well, PuP-Pack stands for Pinup Player Pack. It's basically the collection of media and the configuration files all put together into one folder. And then that's what's used to do all this cool stuff I just showed you. Okay, so in this case now, in the case of this table here, it doesn't use a PuP-Pack. It just uses PuP videos, a folder with all the videos, and the table script directly controls that. In the case of these ones, it's a PuP-Pack. So I'll just show you quickly what I mean by PuP-Pack. So PuP-Packs are made in this program called the PuP-Pack Editor. So I'll use the JAWS example here. It's real quick. So you will create everything in here. You'll set up what screens you're going to use. So remember in Transformers, I mentioned, for example, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different layers or different PuP screens. Now, what is a PuP screen? Like what is doing it? How is it doing that? All it's basically doing is using VLC Media Player. So each of these is a different VLC media player window playing in real time, and they're all being controlled in real time from the table through to whatever plugins are required, and then through to Pinup Player, and then Pinup Player then tells VLC to play all this stuff. So that's what this PuP-Pack is all about. That it's basically configuring all the different VLC media windows, and then down here it tells those windows what to do. So based on whatever the game tells it to, these are the different triggers or the different events, if you want to call them. And then over here it says what screen to play the media on, where it's coming, what folder it's coming from. If it's a specific file, then you'll specify that here. If not, it'll just play another file from the folder, like a playlist. And then the volume, if you want to specify it, the rest seconds, how long before you can play it again. Priority to manage which videos are more important than others. And so that, one will play and the other one won't. And then counter and length are another methods of control. And then you have your play action here, which is, it could be like making it a video loop, or making it stop, or making it be SSF, or all sorts of different actions in here. So that's what a PuP-Pack is basically here. You create it all here, and then you'll save it, and then I'll show you where they're located. So where I have Pinup Player installed is in my Pinup System folder. That's what I call it. So Pinup System, Pinup Player files are all in here, and then the PuP-Packs are all in here. So not all of these are actual filled with files, but these are all the tables I have played, because whenever you run Pinup Player, it'll automatically create a folder for the ROM that the table uses. And in this case, you could see, like, for example, the Aliens one, which is for Pinball FX3. You could see these are all the folders with all the files that I use. So all the video files, they're all like right in here. Okay. And down here are the 3 configuration files, which correlate to these 3 sections here. So that is basically what a PuP-Pack is. So how does a PuP-Pack work? Well, as I described, they work in a few different ways. They could be either controlled through the table script, which is the case in Stranger Things, or through PuP capture, which is watching the DMD and then looking for specific images and then playing stuff based on that. Same with FX3, or in Future Pinball's case, programming it from the table script, but then the table script is telling DOF links to trigger things, and then DOF links works through a PuP-Pack as well. And as far as what you saw here, this is working basically. I push a button in the game, DOF links sees what button I push, and then DOF links tells Pinup Player, hey, like in a normal PuP-Pack, just like anything else, it says trigger this event. So they all work very similar, but for certain things like Stranger Things, it doesn't use a PuP-Pack, it just uses videos, and it triggers those videos directly from the table script. So different layers to get the job done, but in the end, it all works out the same. So that's what a PuP-Pack is. Now, can they only be used in a pinball cabinet? Because that's the one thing that a lot of people think, oh, you can only do this stuff if you have a pinball cabinet. Well, that is not true at all, because I'll show you pictures. Here is that same Transformer one playing on my normal single screen desktop, playing Visual Pinball with the videos in the DMD in the top left corner. And same here. We've got a Visual Pinball version of Masters of the Universe in my PuP-Pack here, and the videos up here, and the PuP scoring done by Lynn in Denver. She came up with the scoring using a Pinup Player so you don't need Ultra DMD. You can actually use Pinup Player instead now. And here's the same Aliens PuP-Pack playing on one single screen with Pinball FX3. And Future Pinball, same thing. You can do that as well. This is my new PuP-Pack I'm about to release, the Jaws Ultimate Pro PuP-Pack. And you can have that display on one screen as well. And Stranger Things, you can see same thing. and Scotty's newest table, the Leprechaun King that just got released. Another awesome table that can also be done on one single screen. So it's not just for cabinets, guys. You guys on your desktops can also enjoy the fruits of Pinup Player. And yeah, so that's the main parts of what a PuP-Pack is. Now we have two more things. So we're going to talk about, before I get to this one here, I'm going to Pinup System. What is Pinup System? Well, Pinup System isn't an actual thing. It's basically just the collection of all pinup related software. It's the entire system of all Pinup Player related software, because there's so many programs that can be used in conjunction with it. So it's basically one central location of where all that stuff is installed. That's why I called my install location Pinup System. So Pinup Player is in here, but also we have the other program we're going to talk about, which is Pinup Popper. What the heck is Pinup Popper? A lot of people, this is the one that people kind of get more mixed up with than anything else. Pinup Popper is a front end program that makes use of Pinup Player. So I'll say that again. It makes use of Pinup Player. So Pinup Player is standalone. It's its own program that does all the cool stuff I just talked about. Do you need Pinup Popper to do that stuff? No, you do not. Pinup Popper is a front end that makes use of Pinup Player. So if you want to use all those PuP-Packs and play those cool tables, you do not need Pinup Popper. If you want to use a completely different front end, you do not have to use Pinup Popper to play those tables. You can still just install Pinup Player and use your favorite front end and still use it like normal. Do you need a front end to play all this cool stuff? Like any of this? No, you only need Pinup Player. So I wanted to make sure that's very clear to you guys, okay? So Pinup Popper. So what is it like? How does it work or any of that stuff? I'm just going to go over a basic overview here, guys, because there's so much to Pinup Popper that I can get into. But this is the very beginning of Pinup Popper, like last year. This is like the very first version of it. Here, I'll just let that run. But yeah, this is the first theme I came up with. Very basic, for a pinball cabinet, just to show off that you can, just like with normal PuP-Packs, you can have multiple layers of video used and lots of other cool stuff in real time as a front end. Now, what's a front end? Well, a front end is used to basically launch all your favorite games from one program. It makes it easy and convenient, so you don't have to use a mouse or keyboard, and it's very cool for something like a cabinet. So lots of features, tons of features. You can record your media right in the front end. So that way you can have it all looking cool and get everything you need from all your games within Pinup Popper itself. Very cool. It works with SQL, active SQL, so you can create tons of playlists very easily from the games from your database of all your games. Very powerful stuff. I'm not going to go heavily into it, but I'm just giving a basic overview of what it is. Now, it's very flexible. You can use it to create any kind of theme you want. Now, that was the basic old cabinet theme I just started up with. I don't think anyone even wound up using this version. But, I recently created desktop themes, for example. So these can be used for playing arcade games or PC games or whatever else on a normal single screen desktop. And as you can see here, multiple video layers, the background layer, video layer here, your arc wheel. Looks beautiful, very, very flexible. And as you can see, you can have a nice arc image. That image was made by Tarcisio Calero. That's his theme. He's the one that came up with all the visuals for all this. So I just made the theme based on his arc image. And so yeah, all the themes that you see out there now for Popper, all the main themes, I made all of them, but I used Tarcisio's wheel arc and wheel images to make all of them. So yeah, these are examples of what you can do with Pinup Popper. You can have multiple themes if you want for different setups. You can have a straight bar. You can have an arc. You can lay out the screens any way you want. Like, you're not limited to only one layout and that's it. You're allowed to create your own custom theme if you want, with different fonts, lettering, different videos, anything you want, different images. It's totally up to you guys. Now, here's another example here's a bar theme running on my cab right now as a demo. Now, this is showing off transparent videos, another feature that only Popper has right now. It's basically 24-bit videos that can be played with transparency. So we'll show you here when I launch the Fire table. Look at that. Like, how cool is that? Like, that's an actual MP4 video. 24-bit MP4 video that loads while the game's loading, and it made for a cool seamless transition because now it's going to just pop right into the table and boom, you can't even tell what was the video playing that whole time and what was the actual table loading. Very cool transitions. So here's another example of the arc theme in my cabinet as well. But as you can see, you can have lots of detail if you want, like the name of the game, the manufacturer, the year, the games, the playlists, the themes, the emulators, all sorts of stuff. You can have the images change per emulator, per system, per playlist. Super powerful stuff here, guys. And then I'm going to show another example of another transparent video. I think, yeah. So, yeah. Like, look at this. Isn't that nasty? That's just awesome. That's another video I came up with. These are all stuff I just mess around with to try new ideas. Because Popper's pretty flexible. It's just you got to use your imagination and try some new things. And sure enough, look at the cool stuff that you can do with it. And these were just more examples of using transparency for doing stuff. So that's all this was. Just simple things. So these are all just, and you can also use anagifs as well. They don't have to be 24-bit videos. And another very cool feature is controlling your front end completely through voice. Only Pinup Popper does this. You can use Google Assistant to completely control all aspects of Popper and navigate or do very powerful searches or very convenient things. If you don't have extra buttons on the cab, you could do things without having to need a button, like set the volume, mute it, go to a different playlist, find a specific game, shut down the cab, all sorts of things. So here's a couple examples.
Okay, Google, Popper, find game Tron.
Popper, find Tron.
And look at that. It came up instantly with anything that had the word Tron in it. So I got my Tron tables in here. And, also any of the MAME stuff that's in there that I don't have media for it yet. But let's try another one. Okay, Google, Popper, find game Mortal Kombat.
Popper, find Mortal Kombat.
And look at that. It brings up through all the thousands of MAME games I've got on here. It brings up all the different ones. Again, I don't have media for all this stuff yet, but yeah, like even my PC games as well. Like, look at that. Like, if you're like me and you got MAME and, pinball all in one cabinet and you got thousands to sort through, that is super, super cool. Okay, Popper.
All right. So that's a couple of simple examples, but it's nice if you want to control the volume when the wife is screaming at you. I just say, hey, Google Popper, the wife is pissed, and it'll mute the volume for me. So, I mean, you can use it for anything you want. So, yeah, I mean, very, very cool, very powerful. So those are just a few basic examples, but with the active SQL capability that Pinup Popper has, my God, like you can do so many features, so many playlists, so much powerful stuff. You can custom tailor that front end any way you want. It is super powerful, but I'm not going to go heavily into that because that's a different video altogether. And I'll have to do an updated Popper features video because there's just so much that's been added over the last year. So yeah, so I think that covers all the main bits there. So there you go. We've gone through the basics of Pinup Player is the heart of everything Pinup related. It's all by itself. So you use it for doing all sorts of different things. You need another front end. You don't need anything else. You can do all the Pinup Player stuff on its own. PuP-Packs are the collection of media and configurations that are used for a specific game. It's all collected into one folder, and then one game will use that folder to play all the media and everything else while you're playing. And Popper is the front end that makes use of Pinup Player, but it does not. But you do not need Pinup Popper to use PuP-Packs for playing tables or anything else. And Pinup System is basically just all the pinup related programs put together into one folder for one location, and it's part of the whole ecosystem. So that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to go through in this video. If you have, actually, you know what? There is a couple more things I do want to mention that you're probably wondering, well, where the heck do I find this stuff? Well, one, go to this wiki page. I'll have a link for it in the description. This is where it's a good place to start. But the place where you're going to find all the pinup related stuff is vPinball. So you go to vPinball, and then you'll go to the downloads, Pinup System, and everything is in here. So if you want to get the files, well, you can go to the wiki if you want to, the install, and everything's right there. But the files are actually located here as well. So R&R does a fantastic job at allowing us to host everything on this website. So if you go into Pinup System Installer and Tools, this is where you get Pinup Player. Right here, Pinup Popper, they're both in here. Then if you want to install a specific theme, like the ARC theme, you'll get those here. The bar type themes, you get those here. And if you want one of the desktop themes, you're not using a PinCab, then you would get those here. Then I got a couple other things, like some handy converter scripts for videos that convert videos all sorts of ways. And this little program here allows you to change PuP-Packs for very unique screen setups, very powerful stuff. So that's where you're going to find all that kind of stuff. Now, where do you find the PuP-Packs? Those would be in here. It says right in there. Look at that, PuP-Packs. So the way it works is if you have a visual pinball PuP-Pack, which most of these will be, they will work with basically almost any visual pinball version of the table they were designed for. You just have to make sure you're using the correct ROM and the software has been all set up correctly, but they're all here. The instructions are normally with every single one of them. I know the ones that I make, I put very detailed instructions so that you guys know what to do. You'll find the Pinball FX3 surround sound feedback PuP-Packs I was talking about. So that's what I was mentioning. Where was that? It was up here somewhere. Right here. So this is both Future Pinball and FX3 can use surround sound feedback. FX3, I made PuP-Packs that will work with basically every table. They're basic, they're not super advanced, but you'll get all the normal surround sound feedback for every FX3 table. For Future Pinball, that has to be done by script. So that, there's only 2 tables that currently are supported. That's going to be the new Jaws Ultimate Pro that I'm releasing. And there's also the older Tron Legacy PuP-Pack that I made last year. That also has surround sound feedback. So, but you're going to see mostly the visual pinball ones here. You also see my Aliens PuP-Pack in here somewhere. For FX3, like I just demoed in the video there. You should see that in here. Yeah, it's right here. And then there's the Future Pinball one I was talking about. So, yes, there's only a couple of Future Pinball ones, but there's more coming. It takes time, guys. That's all I could say. And for FX3, like anybody can make these PuP-Packs, So if you have a favorite table you want to do some cool stuff with, go for it. I have tutorial videos on how to do the basics of this stuff already on my channel. They're a good starter. You go with those, and then you should be good to go for creating PuP-Packs at a start. Now, I'm going to have to do new videos to talk about the advanced features, but they're a good start. And you can use these other PuP-Packs as reference to learn from. So, yeah, so that's the main bits there. So I'm going to be doing a different video that's going to get more into the actual PuP-Packs, how they work with each system, and what it looks like when you actually install them and operate them. That's going to be a separate video because this one's been running long. So hope this was helpful to get you guys a basic overview of which each thing was. Keep an eye out for more videos on my channel. Sometimes I'm gone for months at a time, and then I come back home and I'm playing catch up. Watch for my new Jaws Ultimate Pro PuP-Pack for Future Pinball. It is like insanely crazy. I spent so much time on that compared to most PuP-Packs. It's nuts. And the table is awesome. So keep an eye out for both those things. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.